Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at Lowe's out in Allen, Texas. It is a cloudy day when I went out here, but I did want to go ahead and do another big box store plant shopping video for all of our viewers today. As always, please press that thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And also give me a follow on Instagram. My handle is at GrowFolds. That is the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me if you have any questions about the plant or just want to connect with me in general. But as you can see right here, even though it is a cloudy afternoon when I went out filming this episode, I just wanted to get out to more big box stores. And typically I go to Lowe's just because the consistency of the outdoor garden plants as well as the indoor tropical plants is pretty consistent when you compare it to other big box stores. And I just like seeing the quality of plants that they have. So we're going to see what kind of plants they have available. I do miss making big box or plant shopping videos, so hopefully my consistency improves because I love making daily plant shopping videos for the reason of having a live premiere chat. But before we get into that,
hey guys, I'm Janae from Janae Simone.
I'm Steve from I Live Plants.
and I am Richie from Grow Folds, and we are
Cultivation Corner. We are so excited. We have a plant podcast. We talk about any and everything, all things plants, and we premiere every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube at cultivation_corner. So be sure to tune in and watch us.
Follow us also on Instagram, and be sure to share our videos and our episodes with all of you plant lovers. We need more cultivators, right,
Yes.
Steve?
Yes, we do. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna share the video.
You have
what
to.
you're
You
gonna do.
have to. Today. All right, guys.
Today.
We'll see you on the next one.
Alright.
If you are a plant foldie, and for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. My name is Richie, and I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos with a live premiere chat. So definitely jump on if you watch this during a live premiere. But as you can see, I am heavily plugging Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast with my co-host Janae Simone and Steven of I Live Plants. We are in the midst of filming season 3, which will be premiering sometime in the fall. For those that have watched season 1 and 2, thank you so much. I call my plant foldies also cultivators. That's what we call our viewers for the Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast. I hope you guys will binge watch all of season 1 and 2, and I'm super excited for season 3. Search YouTube Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast. Definitely check it out. We do a lot of plant topics and just discuss other topics as well. And if you just want good vibes and just good conversation, definitely watch Cultivation Corner. And for those that I've met during PlantCon 2025 in Houston, you already know who you are. Thank you for saying hello to all 3 of us. We were so honored and ecstatic to have met some of the cultivators. But anyways, let's get to the plant shopping. So you can see right here, plant foldies, quintessential Grow Folds fashion. I like to feature some of the outdoor plants. So we're looking at some vegetables and herbs. Oftentimes you will see bonnie plants and maybe even burpee plants at Home Depot. You can see that Lowe's does have a couple of deals going on where if you buy 2, I think you get 1 free. And so you'll see we have some tomatoes. And if you like raised beds, they do have the supplies for you to create a raised bed. I don't have raised beds this year. I do have planter boxes that I've been growing tomatoes and variegated peppers. So that's super exciting. And I have yet to really get film footage. You know, I've been super busy with just work in general. Honestly, work has been extremely stressful. There have been days where I just don't want to do anything but kind of just vegetate and relax because I have to practice that mindfulness in a sense that self-care is the best care. And I really haven't had that much time to myself. So I do apologize to the plant foldies for not having that consistency and having daily plant shopping videos, but I am attempting. I just have to take care of my mental health a little bit and just the things that have gone on with some of my pets. So if you haven't heard, my baby pet birds, Catriona and Charlotte, had a hawk attack scare. thankfully, Luke was able to rescue Charlotte, and he didn't give up on looking for Catriona. What he ended up doing is actually taking Charlotte out into the backyard, and Charlotte would look and make those calling noises, and eventually we were able to hear Catriona in our neighbor's backyard. So I'm really thankful. So now, you know, being somebody that actually has baby chickens or just raising chickens as pets, I am emotionally attached to their well-being. And I know there's a couple of plant foldies that have claimed to be their auntie. I wanted to shout out again Angelique for being the aunt that supports them through super stickers. Just know that I have some footage later on in this video where you will see that Catriona is safe and sound. I actually did a shorts video of Luke shushing and scaring away the hawk. Our bird feeder that we have actually captured that footage, so definitely check that out. And you know, just life updates. I know that we're going to be big box or plant shopping video today, but I also wanted to give you guys some life updates because I do utilize a lot of my shopping videos just to talk to y'all directly. I feel like our community has grown really close where we are concerned about each other's well-being and just knowing what's going on. I mean, you can see here though, whenever I do go to Lowe's locations, I mean, the fact that they have very cost-effective plants, lots of different varieties of plants, whether it's succulents or cactus, that would be amazing. You know, prices, you can see right here, this is an impuncia, and I actually have one prickly pear cactus that's growing in the ground. It is definitely cold tolerant because I am based out in North Dallas, and we get extreme winters, super cold winters, icy winters, and so I was surprised that that prickly pear cactus was able to survive. You can see this is a Kalanchoe hybrid, and I love the shape of this particular leaf. It's got a velvety texture. And before we also get into the rest of the plant shopping video, you already know Plant Foldy. Some people call me very commercial. I'm okay with that. I actually own the fact that I am very commercial because I like to promote local and small businesses, people that I truly believe in, and one of them is Classy Rabbit Soil. So if you haven't heard about Classy Rabbit Soil is in an I wouldn't even say organic. How about this? 100% naturally sourced ingredients. This is a local small business out in McKinney, Texas. So you already know I love supporting small businesses, local businesses. And you can see here, I am using this amazing soil that I swear by. Every single plant that I put into soil substrate, I can't get enough of Classy Rabbit Soil. So you'll see that I am potting up in Aglaonema Golden pink that I ended up buying at Peta's Planters, another local small business plant shop in Dallas, Texas. So definitely check out Peta's Planters. But as you can see right here, this is a soil that is made by farmers, so they don't really rely on soil scientists or whatever that means. The ingredients of Classy Rabbit Soil is amazing because I love the fact that obviously the main ingredient that makes it special is rabbit manure, but it also has pumice, composted food waste, which makes it a sustainable product, as well as rice hulls and natural mycorrhizae. I really love that as well. The fact that this soil is a local small business, it is super chunky, fast draining, and you'll see right here as I water this right here, look at how fast the water just goes through the soil. That doesn't mean that this soil doesn't retain moisture. It definitely does, but you know, when it comes down to soil substrates, you really want something that is a little bit more chunky because then it gives a little bit better aeration for roots. I tend to get plants from overseas, so I really have to have a premium type soil. I would honestly say that Classy Rabbit Soil is one of the best soils I've ever used. I almost gave up on soil substrates in general just because I felt like it wasn't giving the right growing conditions for my plants, but I am back at growing soil, which I believe is really the natural way for a lot of these plants. So definitely shop classyrabbit.com. I know that they have some other products that are really good for the soil, but you know, my question is, have you pooped on your plants today? And if you haven't pooped on your plants, why haven't you pooped on your plants? Definitely put an order in at classyrabbit.com. They do offer free shipping, and if you use my promo code GrowFolds, you can add a bag of the soil conditioner, and you can actually get it for free using my promo code GrowFolds. So definitely check out Classy Rabbit. And now we are walking into the outdoor garden section of Lowe's, and just like typical Lowe's fashion, they just have a really good merchandising appeal when it comes to their outdoor garden plants. So for me, I like to just stroll around, big box store, garden centers, because you never know what you're going to run into. The previous video, I ran into some trade Scanthia nanux in hanging baskets, and that was the very first time I've ever seen it. So we'll see what plants we have at this location. So the McDermott Road, Allen, Texas Lowe's has awesome plants. They typically have a really good selection of indoor tropical plants, but nonetheless, they also have awesome outdoor plants. I have to give Lowe's a lot of credit in the fact that if you are looking for budget-friendly, cost-effective plants, especially for the outdoors, go shop at Lowe's. I would recommend it. I would also download the Lowe's app. It is their loyalty program where, most big box stores will have some type of loyalty program, but you will get digital coupons, you'll get earnings and rewards. And to me, if you're looking to save money, that is one of my tips on how to save money at big box stores, is to enroll in free loyalty programs. You just need to get the apps, the apps for these specific big box store. So Lowe's has my Lowe's rewards, and I've actually earned some coupons that have saved me some money while shopping at Lowe's. And I do a lot of my big box store plant shopping legit at Lowe's because they have a lot of indoor tropical plants from Costa Farms, Live Trends Designs, Urban Jungle Plants, and even Proven Winter Plants, especially the outdoor section. So we're just gonna walk around here and take a look at some of the plants. Typically, you will find things like cordyline plant. This is the cordyline Charlie. It almost looks like a Dracaena. It's a beautiful plant right here, the Charlie Boy. I love the names that Monrova comes up with some of their plants. And then we'll see a plethora of different types of Hoyas, or not Hoyas, sorry, hostas. But we might see some Hoyas in the indoor tropical section. But these hostas right here, they almost remind me of an Epipremnum aureum Manjula pothos. I love that green on green variegation. The leaf shape is nice, and it is only for $19.98. I love Hoyas in a sense. I keep saying Hoyas. I keep thinking of Hoyas. Honestly, hostas is what I meant to say. Hostas are perennial plants. So what that means is if it's a perennial plant, depending on your grow zone, that plant can be potted up or put into the landscape where it will come back year after year. So you're going to save money on a perennial plant. A lot of people say perennial plants are permanent plants once they are planted into the ground. And I do agree, because I had some lantanas that I planted last year. I didn't really think that they would be perennial plants, but they came back. So that's another way to save some money on your plants. Invest in perennials that will be perennials in your grow zone. So my grow zone is 8B, so you'll have to do a little bit of research on what your grow zones are. I also like to show you Encore azaleas. I love Encore azaleas because azaleas in general will only bloom once a year, typically during the spring or late spring or early summer is what I mean to say. But Encore azaleas can rebloom at least 3 times a year. And azaleas in general, they just remind me of Japanese gardens, and I love Japanese garden aesthetics. That's something that I'm working on in my backyard. That's the reason why I haven't really shown on any of my backyard, much less my houseplant tour, just because I really want to make sure I present it well for the plant foldy community. So just be patient with that. And then you'll see right over here, we do have a lot of citrus plants. I do have Calmodian plants, or what you call calamansi, which is also known as the Philippine lime. I have 2 trees, and they are doing extremely well. Most citrus trees need to be in full sun as well. But as I walk around here, I'm just going to go show you what outdoor plants I have. And, have no fear. The main event is coming up very soon, where I will show you the indoor tropical plants. I am curious though, for those that love plants in general, do you love outdoor gardening, outdoor landscaping as much as you love indoor tropical plants? Please leave that in the comment section below. I would really love to hear your insights. You already know, every single video, I always love to ask people to just leave some commentary, because I like that interaction. I like to get to know the plant foldies, and just know that I will invest as much time responding to every single comment, as long as you keep it positive. And if you do have some constructive feedback, I welcome that as well. well. It's just all about that positive vibe and good vibes only, however, on this channel. And this is what I wanted to show you. This almost reminds me of Aglaonema somewhat. These are beautiful Canna type plants. This one right here is a Tropicana Gold by Monrova Plants. And what I really love is the fact that this particular leaf has stripes. I love the linear patterns of this particular plant. It almost reminds me of like a philodendron Birkin. It also reminds me of an Aglaonema, and I love that golden stripe color it has. Beautiful plant. I don't think that this plant would really do well indoors long term. Now feel free to chime into the comment section and let me know if it is possible to grow this indoors. And then you can see right here, this one is just absolutely stunning. It does remind me of like an Aglaonema Golden Hope. This one is a Tropicana Canna. So beautiful Monrovia plant right here. It does need full sun. So anything that requires full sun, whenever you're trying to bring them indoors, they are a little bit more challenging to grow, because I feel like our indoor spaces are not always conducive to like full sun exposure unless you have like a grow light. And to me, now that I've kind of just been into the indoor tropical plant collecting for a while now, I've noticed that plants that require a lot of light, a lot of humidity, are just not really meant for my plant collection, just because I feel like if you're doing too much to alter your environment for a specific plant, then you really have to be invested in trying to grow the plant. And realistically for me, I know I have a plant addiction. I know I have an Aglaonema plant addiction where I really need to stop spending money on getting Aglaonema. But I know for a fact that as far as plants, the plants that require a little bit more extra work, I am trying to steer away from. I really need those easy care plants, plants that have these characteristics. And number one, it would be low light tolerant, and number two, drought tolerant. Low light tolerant plants are best for indoor spaces because we don't have all of the best lighting, or at least I would assume most of us don't have like really large south facing windows or west facing windows, or better yet, even the watering, because I feel like the more plants we put in our plant collection, the longer it's going to take for us to maintain the upkeep in terms of watering. I think that is the biggest plant heaven sender. For me, I end up just droughting, putting my plants in full drought where they just don't get watered. And a lot of it has to do with either me being stressed from work or just life in general, having those anxieties where you just don't want to do anything, and then your plants get neglected, and then you feel guilty because you've neglected your plant. It is just a vicious negative cycle. So as far as tips about growing plants indoors, I would just say, monitor how many plants you put in your plant collection to try to be more curated in your plant collection approach. If you are growing plants outdoors, like these beautiful planters, for instance, with these banana leaves right over here, you can get away with having more outdoor plants, especially if you have an automated sprinkler system, or even just hosing them down with a hose. I think watering is one of the biggest setbacks for a lot of people that grow plants, because we get very excited. I know I do whenever I go to a big box store and go plant shopping, where I just want to buy every single plant. But you have to realize, plant foldies, that as you include more plants into your plant collection, you have to have time to water them. You have to have time to upkeep them in terms of just making sure pest preventatives are taken care of. The lighting conditions are just right. So there's just a lot more to it than just picking up plants and plant hoarding, which I honestly feel like I am doing in my current state in terms of my plant collection. My Aglaonemas, I have over 100 plus different varieties of Aglaonemas. It's a little bit overwhelming to upkeep them. I'm surprised that I'm able to upkeep them, but it's because those Aglaonema tend to be a little bit more forgiving. And so for these plants that we're looking at, for instance, we've got potato vines and golden pothos hanging baskets. These are for $19.98. These plants can be grown outdoors, especially the potato vine where it needs full sun. It is an annual plant. This particular plant cannot really be grown indoors long term. They are more spider mite prone when you bring them indoors. They love full sun, and they are very thirsty plants. So there are a lot of characteristics that make them beautiful. Like I really like the trailing aspect of it, but the upkeep of a potato vine when you bring them indoors is a little bit more challenging. So as far as golden pothos, I've said this once, I've said it in all my videos, but I do believe that every single plant foldie or anybody that is a viewer of my plant content, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Definitely add a pothos into your plant collection. You won't go wrong with having a pothos plant because they will continue to grow for you successfully. They're easy to propagate, they're inexpensive, and they're still a beautiful plant to put in your plant collection. A lot of us will put a lot of value or stock into a more variegated plant or some type of trending plant, where sometimes I believe the easy care plants, the plants that you'll find at a big box store, need just as much attention, just as much hype, and just as much love as compared to some of the more variegated aroids like the philodendrons, the monsteras, etc., etc. I don't know if you guys catch my drift on that, but for me, as somebody that loves plants, I appreciate all sorts of plants. And that's the reason why I'm taking a lot of time showing y'all the outdoor tropical plants, the outdoor plants in general. I mean, I love lantanas. I mean, look at how beautiful the blooms are. And would you imagine that lantanas are super easy to take care of if you have a lot of light? Like if you put them in full sun, if you put them in 100-degree weather, they are still heat tolerant and drought tolerant. And you know what? For Texas weather, these are amazing flowering ground cover. So I have a lot of that in my backyard as well. I've actually been feeding lantana blooms to my baby chickens. They seem to like it. So, you know, that's what's interesting, is because now I've kind of steered back a little bit and looked at functional outdoor plants. I love growing vegetables, I love growing herbs, and I love growing flowering plants that I could feed my baby chickens. Let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, if you actually take care of chickens, what other outdoor plants would be good to feed them. I know some plants could be a little bit toxic, so I'd love to learn from you. And that's the beauty of having this big box or plant shopping video channel, is we learn from each other. And that's the reason why I try to garner as many comments, as much chatter in the chat section, because it's a learning experience for me. I really don't know everything. A lot of my plant knowledge is based on experience and learning from my grandmother. And for those that were asking about my grandmother, she did turn 90 this year and she is super healthy. And I am so thankful and blessed that she is of sound mind and body. And she does attribute a lot of her health, her mental health, her physical health, because she has been growing plants for several decades. You know, it keeps her active. And I think when it comes down to it, plants will give us a better routine. And I think that whenever we do grow plants, it does extend our longevity and give us better health in general, both mentally and physically. I know for me, the mental aspect is I can sit back and look at these plants, look at the foliage, appreciate the growth patterns, and just practice mindfulness. And I've been talking a lot about that as of recent, because with things being super stressful for me at work, I have to ground myself. And one way to ground myself is to just appreciate my plant collection. And I'm glad that my plant collection isn't really overwhelming me. It used to. And then I learned to be a little bit more forgiving of myself if my plants go to plant heaven. I try not to inundate myself with so many plants. And I really just try to keep plants that are going to bring me joy versus feeling like I'm stressed to just try to keep a plant alive. Now, this Hydra Helix, for instance, this English ivy, you already know, plant foldies. If you are watching a grow fold video, I'm going to sneak in an English ivy. I love saying Hydra Helix. You know, I remember when I first mispronounced that, and some people used to just roast me in the comment section where they're like, it's very cringe or it's very annoying. You know, all of the things that people want to sling at me in the comment section. Now I find it funny. And sometimes whenever I see some of those people that come on as trolls, I just think, man, it really took that much energy for you to fabricate in your mind to try to criticize somebody for being their most authentic self. So that's really how I've reframed the negativity that we often see on social media. And it's not just my YouTube channel. I've been told that I'm super talkative. Yes, I'm super talkative. I love to talk. Yes, I can be repetitive. And yes, I've said this multiple times. I am repetitive, but you know what? For anybody that tunes in, this is a lesson on embracing your most authentic self. So while I am featuring plants, I try to differentiate my content a little bit and make it more of like a running dialogue to remind people it is okay to be yourself. It is okay to be not the norm. It is okay to embrace your flaws that some people might think are flaws. I always look at some of the things that maybe some people will find as a flaw, as like, for instance, my OCD. Yes, I am obsessive, but I have utilized my OCD as almost like a superpower where not many people have the wherewithal to spend every day in a routine to film 1 hour plant shopping videos, then do a voiceover for an hour, then do editing, and then also take time to interact as much as you can, at least as much as I can, on the live premiere chats. And that's because I do have OCD. And you know, some people will use that as a crutch, maybe even as a setback, but for me, it is a strength. And you know, today's video is really reminding people that plants should bring you joy, but also plants connect people in a way where if you're having a tough day, feel free to share that with others and find strength in being able to share that and find solutions to maybe problems, or just if you need somebody to cheer you up. So for me, I hope everybody has had a good day. And if you haven't had the best day, just know as long as you are breathing, as long as if you are of sound mind and body, there is always a tomorrow, and we have our plants, we have our community. So let me get off of my soapbox in terms of that. Like I said, again, sometimes I just get really chatty, but I think that is a reminder for everybody that sometimes we need somebody to validate and validate our feelings, make us feel seen and heard. And there are times where people just need somebody else to talk to, and that's my way of extending my conversation with anybody who just needs somebody to be able to chatter with. But to go back to the plants, I promise I'm not going to ramble on as much anymore throughout the video. Maybe, I don't know. Plant foldies, you can see right here, we've got beautiful begonias, wax begonias here. And I love the fact that some people will say they are annuals, but it is possible to be able to grow these begonias long term. Now, I did want to give you guys an update of my baby chickens. So you can see right here, they were born on May 5th this year, and you can see how quickly they've grown. So my darker chicken, the black chicken, is named Charlotte. That is a barred rock chicken. And then Catriona is my Rhode Island red, the beautiful brown chicken. So like I said, a week ago, I could have lost both of them to a predator, a aerial predator, a hawk. But you can see right here, they are just going through some of my beds. You can see I have a Japanese maple, and I have purposely let some of the weeds grow because they love to just flock around here and eat the weeds. It is a good source of fiber, I would suppose, but I am just really happy that Catriona is okay. Like literally, when I was told by Luke that there was a hawk that almost got her, and we thought that Catriona was a goner, I'm just thankful that Luke did not give up. There is a video of him scaring away the hawk. It's in the shorts video where he ended up rescuing Charlotte. And I remember Luke telling me on the phone how Charlotte was just crying, literally making lots of noises. He had to calm her down, and then he just ended up just going back outside. I think Catriona was missing for 3 hours, and I really came to terms that maybe she did end up being somebody's prey, but lo and behold, she is okay. And you know, when I say miracle of miracles, yes, people will eat chickens. It is it's a meat that people often eat. But for me, I don't have the heart to really look at my babies as a piece of poultry where you would just consume and eat them. They're so cute, and you know, they're in the pullet stage where they're a little bit awkward. But look at how beautiful they've grown so far. I try my best to provide them the best ample conditions. So in terms of their diet, I try to give them natural sources. So I give them their vegetables. I give them a lot of organic baby arugula, spinach, bean sprouts, things of that nature. And then I also give them mealworms, dried mealworms. And I also have invested in getting different types of seeds like chia seeds, sunflower seeds, that sort of nature, because I want to try to diversify their collection of food. They are looking really pretty. Let me know in the comment section, plant folies, what you think. And for those that want to continue to support them in terms of their supplies, feel free to leave a monetary tip in the form of a super sticker. It is on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. There's a dollar sign. It definitely goes toward their food, their supplies, their just anything related to my beautiful birdies, because if they successfully grow up into adults, I'm hoping that I can get some more chickens next year, maybe 2 more. Their coop is on the way. I ended up ordering it on Walmart.com. And it's got a 10 feet run where it has a mesh to protect them from aerial predators, because I will never let them just be out and about unless I am physically out in the backyard. It is a lesson learned. I am thankful that there was gray shown onto my baby birds, because they could have been goners. Both of them could have really been eaten by Mother Nature. And that's really Mother Nature. You know, Mother Nature is beautiful, but Mother Nature can be cruel. But you can see how cute they are. Let me know in the comment section what you think, and let's get back to the actual big box or plant shopping. So we're going into the main event now, plant foldies. You can see right here, this is how a typical Lowe's location will look like when it's filled with lots of indoor tropical plants. So we are definitely going to see a lot of Live Trends design plants, Costa Farms plants, and urban jungle plants. So I'm going to give you a little pan away through before we start going into the details of what plants are available. I will discuss plant pricing. I will make some recommendations on easy care plants, and I'll just give you some of my insights as I do on all of my big box or plant shopping videos. If you need a really consistent slow release fertilizer, Osmocote fertilizer is amazing. Definitely mix that into your soil substrates. It does wonders for your plant, and it will give them some optimal growth as well. See that this Lowe's location is super organized and has many plants. To start off the indoor tropical plants, we've got a Hydra Helix, and then we've also got a lot of these exotic angel plants by Costa Farms. This one is in a 5-inch planter, $8.98 right over here. This is the Dragon's Tongue plant, really small, very just delicate looking leaves. I love the purple undersides of this plant. You know, I prefer plants with really round, robust leaves, very colorful leaves. That's the reason why I tend to like Aglaonema. And you can see right here, this is a fat shadera, or what you call a tree ivy. This is basically a cross between a Hedera helix, which is an English ivy, and a Japanese or a Fatsa japonica, which is a Japanese Aralia. You can see that it has an upright growth, and it has the shape of an English ivy. So that's kind of like a Hydra helix tree. That is another one right over here, and you can see this one is an actual Hydra helix, or the correct way to say it is English ivy or Hedera helix. This is the Pixie Dixie ivy, and this one is for $5.98. You can see that the leaves are a little smaller, and you know, that's the interesting thing about English ivies. I think they would be such popular plants if they were just not spider mite prone. They are a very challenging plant to grow indoors, and I still have a huge affinity for them. I love them, and the ones that I have are actually growing outdoors in containers, and they are living their best life. I do think that English ivy are better suited for outdoors. I'm not necessarily telling you guys to plant them in your landscapes. I actually would not recommend growing them in the landscape. I would grow them in a pot, a hanging basket of some sort outdoors. That's where they will do and perform better if you're able to do give them those conditions. But in terms of English ivy, let me know in the comment section if you're actually growing English ivy, and let me know if you're still doing the Hydra Helix Challenge 2025. I know a couple of plant foldies were participating in that. I gave up on trying to grow them indoors. So mine are growing outdoors, and they are living their best life. So, you know, it's interesting how the plant foldy community continues to bond and really enjoy each other's company. And that's the reason why I have to try and make daily plant shopping videos. You know, something is different when I am not able to do a live premiere with a chat, because I look forward to chatting with you guys. Ficus benjamina. So this is the very first time I've ever seen a Costa Farms hanging basket of Ficus benjamina. This one is in a 6-inch planter for $16.98. And like all ficus plants, they need to have a lot of light and consistent watering. If you give a Ficus benjamina drought, she will drop all her leaves. She is definitely a shedder. And you know, it's another one where I would like to be able to grow ficus, but I know for a fact that I don't have the lighting conditions to invest, nor do I have the time to really consistently water it. So I don't have a Ficus benjamina in my plant collection. I've tried to grow them in the past, but they end up going to plant heaven. You can see right here, that is a Hoya. I was thinking of Hoyas earlier, but that is a Hoya carnosa, Crimson Princess, for $16.98. And then we also have some Epipremnum aureum golden pothos right here by Costa Farms. Golden pothos, please add it to your collection. I am telling you guys, if you don't have one in your plant collection, this is the plant to add. People will call it a basic plant, but you know what? Basic means easy care. Easy care means more joy, and easy care means less stress, and less stress means happy life. So lots of positives as to why you should add that to your plant collection. And then you can see right here, we've got a Dieffenbachia. Dieffenbachia are extremely toxic to plant to pets. So it is not a pet friendly plant. It is a beautiful plant nonetheless. It is a plant though that looks similar to an Aglaonema, but it does need more light and more consistent watering, which makes it a little bit more challenging to grow. It is a little bit more spider mite prone as well. So if you're able to increase the humidity levels of this plant, it will do very well. So let me know what you think. And you know, I have to say, even though I do these big box or plant shopping videos, and we've seen these plants time and time again, I never get tired of looking at Costa Farms exotic angel plants. And the reason being is it just brings me joy that all of these plants are readily available for the general public. Now, I do wish that often these plants are sold to a good home, because I see these plants end up going to plant heaven or really declining in health. And so maybe, just maybe, by showing you guys how beautiful these Costa Farms plants are, maybe you will rush out to a big box store and definitely look at that. So as far as the indoor tropical plants at this Lowe's location, I'm not really seeing any new releases, but I do like the fact that, like I've said in all of the big box store videos, Lowe's is very consistent in being able to have in stocks in terms of the indoor tropical plants. Costa Farms is always replenishing Lowe's. Live Trends Design is always innovating and bringing some stylish plants. And if you haven't seen my previous big box store video, I do go in depth on some of the artistic merit that Live Trends Design planters have. This is a beautiful Rex begonia. I really like that as well. You can see right over here, gorgeous, beautiful begonia. This one is called the Red Kiss, so I love that too. This one is for $16.98, and this is another example of a plant that I have pretty much been looking at for the past year. I just have not bought it because I just know that even though it is a beautiful plant, it's not a plant that I could grow long term because I don't have the time or invested in being able to just take care of it. And that's the reason why I hope that some of my big box store plant shopping videos can become a vessel or a source where you can just go window shopping. It's going to save you money because you're not really out and about picking up these plants, but you're still seeing the beautiful foliage and getting some insightful commentary. I do feel like my commentary is a little bit insightful. So it's a win-win situation for all of us. We can see plants, but not spend money on plants. Now, for me, I remember when I was going to big box stores on a daily basis, and I felt the need to buy a plant every time I went big box or plant shopping. That is not necessarily the case. And I've really learned to put some restraint in my spending habits at a big box store. Now, if you wave a beautiful aglaonema, especially those overseas sellers that send me beautiful videos of rare and uncommon aglaonemas, that is a different story. It is always going to be a yes, I need that plant in my plant collection. So you have to pick your battles. At least the battle of me feeling the need to buy big box store plants have kind of declined. It doesn't mean that I don't want to support the nurseries that have these plants. I just know that long term, these plants are not going to have the best care for me because of the amount of time I can invest in them. You have to think, I am balancing my daily life, just my life in general, my work, my origami project where I'm folding origami paper cranes. I have 2 baby chickens that I am taking care of, and then just having time where it's not involving social media content creation. It's a lot to balance. And then you put that on top of the 100+ aglaonema I have. People will ask whether I sleep. Yes, I do. I still get my 8 hours of sleep because I do believe sleep is important, but it is all about maximizing every second of the day. And that's another message I wanted to let everybody know. Don't let time pass by. Do something that you want to do. Do something that you feel like you can do, and don't second guess yourself. If you want to have a yummy dessert, go out there and get yourself a yummy dessert. If you want to take a trip somewhere and you can afford it, go ahead and do it. Seize the day and live your life to the fullest, because even though I have all of these things happening at once, I am still very thankful for this community. And like I said again, I try to shout out all of the plant foldies by name. I just never want to make people feel like they're not valued, because if you are still listening to me talk even after this much chatter, then just know that I appreciate you, I see you, I value you, and I hope that you continue to be part of this community. Now, as far as all of the Costa Farms plants we're seeing, you can see we've got that Calathea Green Goddess. We saw a Monstera Peru. Monstera Perus are beautiful, and this is an example of a green foliage plant. It doesn't have any variegation, but for $19.98, it's a beautiful plant that you need to also add into your plant collection. It is an easy to care for plant, and the texture of the leaves is what makes it interesting. So let's just keep walking around and picking up some of these Costa Farms plants. Feel free to leave in the comment section what you think. If you have any questions about the plant care tips, or if you want to share anything about your plant collection, I'd love to hear in the comment section. And if you made it this far into the video and you have not pressed the thumbs up or like button for this video, first of all, why not? And second of all, let's pause this video and let's do that. So let's go ahead and make sure that you're helping me push this content out. I'm hoping that we can get to 13,000 plant foldies soon. It's been a slow but steady growth. I do appreciate more so the genuine engagement versus the numbers, but hey, the more the merrier, right? So let's keep looking at these plants and enjoy the foliage. And plant foliage, as you can tell, I have a strong affinity for a lot of these plants right over here. Beautiful green foliage, Epipremnum aureum. So we have the lemon meringue pothos, we had a lemon top pothos, and the quintessential but common, still beautiful plant, the golden pothos right here. This one is for $15.98. It is in a Costa Farms self-watering planter. Self-watering planters, I am curious to see what everybody's opinion on self-watering planters. I like them for more of my semi-hydroponic substrates like Lechuza Pond and Leca. I prefer to water my plants in, top water them or bottom water them when I am actually growing them in soil substrate. So let's go walk over here and plant foldies. In my previous video, I really went into detail about a lot of the indoor tropical plants from Live Trends Design, but I also wanted to show you some of my plant aesthetics when it comes to planters. You can see a lot of these have a really nice palette, a color palette. I like the more matte finishes, and I also like these natural baskets as planters as well. You know, that's something I really haven't delved into, is plant styling. I have an appreciation for it. I have an eye for it. It's just not something that I have really covered. There are some other content creators that have a really good knack on presenting very stylish approaches when it comes to plants, because I feel like if you're going to grow a plant collection, a lot of it needs to be very visibly pleasing, or maybe there are different types of collectors. For me, I definitely know that I am not necessarily a plant collector. I know that I'm a plant hoarder, and I'm trying to move from being a plant hoarder to more of a plant collector, where I have a more curated and more stylistic approach to my plants, especially with all of my aglaonema. All of my aglaonema are super colorful, but they're kind of just shoved everywhere. And that's also the reason why I haven't done a house plant tour, because I'm slightly embarrassed to show you how much of a hoarder I am when it comes to plants. Now, going over here, you know, when we talk about Live Trends Design planters, this one is an interesting and very quirky planter. This one is the statue or the head of David. You can see that this one is a syndapsis, and I don't know, you know, it's a quirky looking planter. For me, it's not necessarily my cup of tea, but you know, it does have some character. And so I do understand how some people prefer lots of textures, lots of color when it comes to certain plants. And so this particular planter by Live Trends Design, it does do well with a lot of the trailing plants like pothos plants, syndapsis, for instance, because it looks like a head of hair. Very interesting, and it is still a work of art. Live Trends Design plants, if you haven't already looked into their planters and the way they present it, there is a lot of thought put behind it. You know, in my previous video, I talked about how in college I was actually a double major. My major was art history and painting or fine arts, and I also was a graphic design person. So a lot of my appreciation for art does come from just my college days, where my dream was to literally have a painting studio where I would just paint all day and just live my best life. Unfortunately, with art, I am just not one of the more fortunate ones to make it into a career. Therefore, I am making, you know, plant content and just working a job that I would say I have worked for more than 16 years. And, you know, it still brings me joy. It's just not necessarily the career path I would have chosen when I was in my younger years. I am thankful because it has been a stable salary for me. And, you know, I've been able to afford some of these plants. Also, the YouTube big box or plant shopping videos have become more of a passive income source for me. So I thank all the plant foldies that just watch my videos, that press the like button and give a super sticker or super thanks. Now, for those that also want a little bit more content, a little bit more personalized content from me, definitely consider joining my YouTube membership tier called the Super Plant Foldies. Again, shout out to Plant Foldy David, or Super Plant Foldy David to be exact. He always gives YouTube memberships to 5 random plant foldies. So thank you so much, David. I really appreciate it. We have about 60 super plant foldies. And if you don't know what a super plant foldie is, again, it is somebody that is part of the YouTube membership tier. For only $2.99, you'll get access to special emojis. So you'll see the aglaonema emojis. You will be highlighted on how long you've been a super plant foldie. And I'm thinking about also having discounted super plant foldie merch. I'm working on a Hydra Helix t-shirt and other things of that nature for the plant foldies. So to go back to the plants, as I wrap up this big box for plant shopping video, I always like to feature a lot of the hanging ceramic planters by Lifetrends Design. This one is for $16.98, but look at how stunning this neon pothos is. Beautiful pothos plant. It's actually my favorite pothos, even though pothos in general is one of my favorite plants to grow because they're forgiving, they're a little bit drought tolerant, they're easy to propagate, they're inexpensive, budget friendly, easy care plants. All of the positive adjectives that you can give a plant, a pothos plant has, and it also has a unique way of growing. So if you grow it up a totem pole or moss pole, the plant will mature and have larger leaves to the point where it will even fenestrate. But in this sense right here, it is a trailing plant, and you can see that Lifetrends Design, I love that pastel blue it has, and even the strings and the lines it creates, it is a work of art. Same thing with this hanging basket by Lifetrends Design for only $16.98. This one is using kind of a leather string with that matte finish, that navy blue matte finish, in contrast to the neon green, neon yellowish leaves of the neon pothos. So I am curious, plant foldies, if you've actually grown a neon pothos, what you think of pothos plants in general. Like I said, again, leave comments in the comments section. And this is the kind of plant you will find at a Lowe's location. I would say Lifetrends Design is most prevalent at Lowe's. If you're looking for a lot of varieties of different types of Lifetrends Design plants, you can see this one right here has a beautiful pastel pink tone to it, and look at how silvery the Syndapsis plant is on this one. Now with Syndapsis, you can see that this one's a little bit thirsty. You can see that the leaves are curling. That's one way to indicate that this needs a little bit a drink of water. Now with Syndapsis and even pothos plants, if you let them dry out too long, they start to get yellowing leaves and they start to lose their top leaves, and that's when your plant becomes a little bit more leggy. So make sure you stay on top of the watering. Great contrast for this Lifetrends Design plant for $16.98. Again, the white ceramic planter it's in with the contrast of the green leaves and the white variegation of this Epipremnum aureum pearls and jade pothos. Really stylistic presentation, and I have to always talk about style. When you think about style and plant styling, Lifetrends Design is synonymous to that. You can't really beat Lifetrends Design. They just have a really good aesthetic when it comes to it. Maybe I'm a little bit partial because I like that aesthetic, but if you also like fun aesthetics, go to the urban jungle plants. So you can see $13.98. This is a Peperomia obtusifolia. It is a very durable plant, another easy to care for plant. It's another plant that I do think most plant collectors are not really into. Peperomias are not as popular, even though they're easy to care for plants. That's the reason why I would like for people to reevaluate and just think about adding more easy care plants because it's less stress. Would you rather have a plant that's not going to give you stress when it comes to plant care? Or do you want a plant that maybe you are into challenges? Maybe you want a challenging plant. I get that as well. But urban jungle plants, that's one that I would definitely recommend. They have a whole assortment at Lowe's locations. honestly, I've picked up several different types of planters from Urban Jungle and Live Trends Design. You know, these are two very different aesthetics, but you know, one isn't better than the other. It really just depends on your flavor. For me, I tend to like Live Trends Design, but Urban Jungle plants, I love that they have more of a handmade, homemade feel vibe about them. And so if you like something a little bit more handmade looking and just a little bit more funky, I would go with Urban Jungle plants. I love the terracotta planters that they produce, and they usually pick a lot of the plants to sell that are easy care, like this bird's nest fern. We do have some alocasias, different types of philodendrons. We've got calatheas and even aglaonema, ficus plants. Like, look at this beautiful philodendron. I don't know if this is a black cardinal, but needless to say, dark foliage, beautiful, elegant looking plants from Urban Jungle. And these ones are only for $13.98. So I'm just going to continue to pick up some plants and just show you their foliage. Feel free to leave in the comment section if you have any questions about the plants, whether it's the plant care tips or the plant IDs. I will respond appropriately. And hopefully you guys are just enjoying seeing the types of plants you could find at a big box store. You know, big box or plant shopping is definitely more universal. It's a little bit more accessible for the general public. And that's the reason why I will continue to just make these daily plant shopping videos, because why not, right? It's going to go bring us together and we can talk about plants and just see what new releases they have. So this one right here has been around for a while in terms of the new Urban Jungle planters. I'm curious to see what other types of planters Urban Jungle produces throughout the year. And the same thing with Live Trends Design. As far as Costa Farms plants, I am looking forward to seeing any more trending tropical releases. I know that they've got the Costa Farms Burley Marks Flame that was recently released, but as far as Live Trends Design, I can never get over these hanging ceramic planters. This one is a beautiful Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil. Look at the stunning heart-shaped leaves. The more bright indirect light you give it, the more neon and variegation leaves you'll get. And you know, it's a really good cost-effective price for the health of the plant and definitely the planter itself. The planter is worth a lot for just the amount of artistry that is presented. And you'll see we have an Epipremnum pinnatum, Cebu Blue, and more hanging ceramic planters by Urban Jungle as well. So let's just keep walking around and picking up some plants. Feel free to let me know which one's your favorites. Like this one right here is endemic to my family's home country, which is the Philippines. This is a Cebu Blue pothos. Epipremnum pinnatum are a little bit more tricky when it comes to the other pothos plant because they are a little bit more thirsty. They definitely need more light. If you don't provide it enough light, they actually shoot runners versus foliage. So for the Epipremnum pinnatums, you want to make sure you are giving it as much bright indirect light and staying on top of the watering as well. the question about all of these plants are, do you like to buy Live Trends design plants? In my previous video, I went into detail about the aesthetics behind the planters, or do you prefer urban jungle planters where they're a little bit more funky boho aesthetic? To me, there is room for every type of aesthetic in a plant collection. I just tend to be a little bit more selective in terms of the actual plants I'm growing. So even though I have an affinity or an appreciation for all types of families of plants, I still have to stick by my aglaonema. I am back in love with syngoniums just because they're fast growing. I figured out that if I grow syngoniums in a semi-hydroponic substrate, it is more forgiving when it comes to watering because I don't have to water it nearly as much. So it is all about figuring out your routines around plant care and just the amount of time you can invest. That's something that I will continue to repeat because it is something that we overlook. We get excited about seeing beautiful plants like this, but we don't always factor in the amount of time it takes to take care of plants. There have been times where I've literally obliterated and sent an entire plant collection to Plant Heaven simply because I didn't water my plants for 2 months straight, and it's because I ended up getting discouraged. I ended up feeling like it was a losing battle, and therefore I gave up. That's full transparency. When you think about content creators, sometimes they only show you the best of their plant collection, but they don't always mention the trials and tribulations of actually growing plants. I have sent so many plants to Plant Heaven, and I actually had a plant foldie leave a comment about if I factored in the amount of money I spent in, sending plants to Plant Heaven, it would be a hefty amount. I totally agree. Over the past year and a half, I don't really want to think about how much I've lost in terms of monetary value for the plants, but I will say the value of learning from your mistakes is still more so worth it, even if you do send plants to Plant Heaven. So, that's some of my insights for today. I did want to go round this video off and just show you some of the beautiful Live Trends design plants. This one is, again, another hydroponic type plant where you're just growing it in straight water, but the base actually lights up, so it illuminates the beautiful roots. This one is a Clusia plant, and this was one of the plants I first saw at Home Depot being offered by Nature's Way, and you can see that Live Trends design, I'm telling you, they just choose plants that are very much stylish, and it is slightly more expensive than when you compare plants from Costa Farms or Urban Jungle Plants, but you have to also look at the artistic aesthetic behind it. I really do think that Live Trends Design just has a more stylistic approach to their planters. Feel free to disagree with me. Let me know what you think about the other plant nursery providers, but my heart does go to Live Trends Design in terms of their planters. Really love the look of it, and you can even see they have many varieties of plants to choose from. I just remember when alocasias like this were uncommon and were quite expensive. Now you can get this one for $16.98 in a self-watering planter. And that's the thing about alocasias. They are not as forgiving in terms of staying alive, but you can send it to Plant Heaven and resurrect it as long as you let the corm dry out completely. I've had alocasias that I've just sent to Plant Heaven, but then I was able to revive them and resurrect them because they dried up all the way back down to a corm. So certain plants, I call them the phoenix plants. That is one of them, the alocasias. And I am so in love with this new ceramic hanging basket planter by Live Trends Design. This is a beautiful Hoya Carnosa Crimson Queen. This one is also for $16.98, and you can see the different types of material that they use for these planters. I just don't know how they conceptualize these designs, but I absolutely love them. And then I'm also looking at two different types of pothos plants. So you can see this one is a jade pothos for $24.98. Look at how beautiful this this basket planter is. And then we also have the golden pothos, but the green, the deep green tone is just lovely. And this is another plant that, like I said, again, very easy to care for, and I would recommend. It's one that you can propagate and share with others, and that's another way to save money on plants, guys. plant foldies. You can just propagate plants for each other and share them. You know, I wish we can create a group where we can share plants. Hopefully, as there are more Dallas-Fort Worth communities where we can actually have open markets, I would love to be able to participate in plant swaps or just be able to give free plants away. I know Peta's Planters recently had a night market where Cultivation Corner was part of hosting the event. Huge turnout, and I love seeing the local community come together. I am very fortunate to live out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area where there is a strong plant community where you can find and source you know, really common plants to uber rare plants to just different types of plant collectors. And that's what makes this area fun. So I would recommend anybody visiting Dallas to connect with some of the plant foldies here. We do have a lot of local plant foldies. And I'm hoping you guys will end up going to Dallas Plant Con because I will definitely be there with my co-host on Cultivation Corner, Janae Simone and Stephen of I Live Plants. We are planning a party the day before Plant Con as well. So let me know if you're interested, and let me know if you are planning to go to Dallas Plant Con. I think it's sometime in October, so we still have some time to plan, and let me know. As I finish off this big box store plant shopping video, just to recap a couple of things that I've talked about. You know, again, when it comes to big box store plants, you really want to make sure when you're going to Lowe's that you have some type of budget set. It's easier to go crazy and buy whatever plants you want to buy and just go over budget. Have an idea of what plant you are wanting to also buy, because then you'll know the care tips and you'll know whether it is a feasible plant. Aglaonema red Siam, you know, I couldn't go to a big box store and not at least feature one of my favorite plants. Aglaonema red Siam, $15.98. While it is a common plant, it is a plant that I hope every single viewer, every single plant foldie will give a chance to add to your plant collection. It is the mascot of this actual YouTube channel because it embodies a lot of the things I like. It is very common, but also durable. It is beautiful and it's easy to care for. So as far as an Aglaonema red Siam, let me know in the comment section if you have one. And if you don't, let me know why you don't have one, because it's time to buy an Aglaonema red Siam. $15.98. I'm hoping that Costa Farms will actually produce more Aglaonema varieties, or at least have them ready for the market. But you can see the pink stems, the pink and red margins. Beautiful plant, and if you give it a little bit more light, it tends to push out more of the reddish tone, and I love the fact that it's got a natural shine about it. So hopefully, plant foldies, what do you guys think of the plants that we've seen today at this big box store plant shopping video adventure? I always enjoy hanging out with y'all. And there you have it, plant foldies. It has been another fun and exciting big box or plant shopping video for y'all today. Again, consider joining my YouTube membership tier for only $2.99. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. I will definitely have a brand new one soon. Subscribe to my YouTube channel with all the notification bell on. This is Richie at Growfold. Have a great day, and I will definitely see you on the next video. I'll have some more brand new content coming out this week. Bye.